As I said, I'm Bree with Ziphaus. We're gonna run through everything. We're gonna do a fresh start because we just answered,
Okay,
and
for
then
sure.
we gotta get it going. Nah, it's all good. It's all good. We have time. So hey everybody, I'm here with Dana Vaughns. Uh, I'm Bree from Ziphaus. We're really excited to have you.
Thank you.
How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm in the studio with another artist today, and yeah, we're just working. It's been kind of different because everything's been shut down and all that, so I haven't really been able to work with people or be in the studio. But it's not many of us. It's one or two, so feel
Right,
good though.
I'm finding the time to get it done though. That's
Mm-hmm.
really important because
Yeah.
although the pandemic is here, creativity doesn't stop. So it's really good
Right.
it's continuing to go. I have like my list of notes of lots of questions to ask you because I was
Okay.
excited to hear about this. I took a peek at a lot of your music. I
Thank
really
you.
like it. And you have a new single, Familiar.
The project in November was Familiar Strangers, but my new single is We Can Party. That just dropped. Yeah, maybe like 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago now. About a month ago now. Yeah.
Okay, so can you please tell me about it?
We Can Party is a song. Well, let me just say, like, the name definitely fits the type of song that it is. It's not called We Can Party. It's gonna be like slow or something. It's definitely like a upbeat type of record. It kind of gives me that get jiggy with it, Will Smith type of vibe, cookout, just kind of dancing with your friends, family type. Oh, I put my phone on. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no
Put my
problem.
I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I still got a call.
And
There
I
we
don't know.
go.
It doesn't. I do not disturb. Doesn't do anything
Well,
sometimes.
welcome back.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
it's a party up in here. We Can Party. Yeah, it's a song I came up with probably about 6 months ago now with my boy Max Shepard, who helped me produce it. And
Uh-huh.
it's really cool because a lot of people don't know we use all like analog sounds, so it's all original MPC drums, which is the drum pads.
Mhm.
We used a Prophet 6 synthesizer. We got to use like a vocoder on there. We used like just all organic sounds, and nothing was like a sample or an audio file, like an audio thing. You know what I'm talking about? If you know what
Yeah,
I'm talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. I
But
do.
exactly. But yeah, so it was really cool, and I think you feel that through the track, and it seems like everybody that hears it, enjoys it.
Yeah. When you're formulating a beat, since you're going all organic, not using samples or anything, what is deriving your inspiration for a sound?
Um, it's really, I really try to like look inside myself for my sound, because honestly I feel like we definitely have everything that we've heard or that we want to do whatever inside of us, so it's more just like I try to inspire myself in the way that like I don't have to go anywhere else for my inspiration. Like if I can hear it, I should be able to figure it out. So that's really kind of what it is, and I grew up on things like Jill Scott and Usher and this and that, so that is naturally just bleeds into what I'm doing. Not older Frank Ocean. When I got older Frank Ocean and like James Fauntleroy on writing, so it all mixes in there. I have no choice for it to be inside me, so I just try to inspire my own sound that comes out. You know?
Right. And you write majority of your music, correct?
Yeah, everything that's ever came out, I've written for sure. I mean, I do some co-writes, but yeah, I've never um, taken a song from somebody and just recorded it and put it out.
Right. When
Yeah.
you are coming up with the lyrics, because some of them are very powerful and you can connect with them, I can connect with them.
Thank
Um,
you.
where are you speaking from? Are you speaking from experiences from yourself, people around you? Where's your outlet?
Um, I think it's a mix of a couple things. If I think about We Can Party, that one's not too much like a deep message or whatever, but I was singing from the place of like literally me being at my family reunion. Like we was all doing an electric slide. Like what would I just want to do it to? And that was the inspiration behind that. Some of my other songs, like my first song I ever released, Feelings, yeah, that was definitely about a point I was in, and this
Mm-hmm.
girl from back where I'm from, and we would just text in the morning. Like we still cool now. But like that was definitely from a real feeling. And sometimes I just write from what message do I want people to hear. So it's not I don't always write for me, you know what I'm saying? And that's not that I don't think that's a bad thing. I think if you know what your audience is, you should feed them, because that's why they come to you. So I definitely write things that I think maybe they can relate to, that they would want to hear my perspective on something.
Right, right. What do you think is on your entire catalog, what do you think is the track or EP that resonates most with your character?
Um, that's very hard. I really think it's some of the songs that I did like at the very beginning before I even had my first single out or my first this and that. Even though I might be able to do things better now or produce better or sing way better than I did back then, like it's there's still something really special about that because I feel like it's like when you play a card game for the first time, it's like beginner's luck, but it happens every time. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like it's like yourself is telling you like, yo, like you can win this. I'm gonna let you win once, and then you got to go win on your own now. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that it's one of those songs. Feelings is definitely one of the first songs I wrote. It's on my what is it called? Oh my god. I haven't done it in so long. We haven't been doing anything. Like we've been sitting, I've been chilling, I've been reading, I'm like, oh my god, what is it called? Streaming services. It's on my platform. There you go. On my platform.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of those. There's a song that I have that's unreleased called like Underwater, which was the first like full song that I wrote, which is just tight, and it's literally it's this metaphor of that being underwater is like you really need this girl. Like it's beyond like, oh, I want you to like I'm underwater drowning right now, and like I need you to pull me out of this water. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then but I think in that moment that maybe you never know if I get pulled out of the water. I'm like mad. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm confused more, not mad, but I don't know why my little 17-year-old self was all depressed, but like. For real, like one of those definitely are things that I want to, bring back out and show people now.
Mm-hmm. How do you connect with your fans?
Multiple ways. As everybody uses like Instagram and things like that, that's one way that you can stay really connected to them. I think like, especially, I don't like that Instagram now won't let you save your lives to your page. I don't know if you know that, but that's something that I actually just don't like because I really did get to connect to them because I get to, read their comments, guess some of them, and a lot of them will see that I'm live and be busy or something like that, and I'll see the comments say, "Please save this live so I can watch it later." Oh. So I do that, and they don't have that feature anymore. So that's one way that kind of got taken away from me a little bit. Something cool I do for like birthdays or something like events or whatever. I do this app called Cameo. It's like I don't have the price super high, but if it's for like a birthday or something like that, I can make a special message for your mom, blah blah blah. Like I kind of leave all the doors open. And really, I feel like the biggest one that they get to resonate the most with is the music. So, like, I try to communicate to them through the music because they're going to be able to listen to my songs way more than we're going to be able to talk. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, like, that's how I hope I'm communicating to them,
You have a very soulful sound to yourself. Where does that derive from? Like, who are your inspirations?
Well, where it derives from is literally, like, I think why people have soul in the voice or this and that is what they call that is literally like really is your soul. Like at the end of the day, like I didn't plan on singing. This was not like I didn't grow up trying to do this and had that type of thought. So I honestly can't say like I trained and I studied anybody while trying to vocalize. So it didn't come from any type of emulation or trying to, try to just sound like my favorite. Like I was still listening to Usher and doing this. I didn't start singing until I was like 14, 13, 14. So I was like, I didn't grow up.
What brought you to that? What brought you to, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what brought you to that?
I was in a boy group called I Am Five back in, I think it started in 2013 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it was like a national audition put together by Jamie King, who's done all Michael Jackson's tours, and Simon Fuller, who created American Idol and all that. So it was a big thing, it's a big production, long audition process, but I got brought in like the very last callback, and they just really needed somebody to dance, So I was like, okay, like I dance. I was one of the only like kid dancers out here in LA doing shit. I'm sorry, doing stuff. So
that's fine.
I don't even like to be doing that. And they brought me in on a dance, and I sang, I think a Jackson 5 song. I feel like I Want You Back or something. And I wasn't like, all right, I'm not going in there trying to blow them away with this, but this is this opportunity, and it's a job at this point. I love going on auditions. I'm just trying to book the job. It pays well, and I can figure out how to sing for a little bit. So that's kind of how it turned out.
Okay.
And I was blessed enough to get the opportunity, but through that, it wasn't like I hated it. It was definitely something I was uncomfortable with. But just over time, I mean, I ended up just making it my own in that sense, and just learning things on my own, and listening to different singers way more intently. You know what I'm saying? But like once again, I'm glad I didn't come up with like this always trying to be my path or what I'm doing, because it gives me like a fresher outlook on it. I'm not distracted by my impatientness to get to a certain point. I'm like, yo, I just learned about this long ago. People been worrying about this since they were 3 years old. Like I can't forget that, you know. So
Yeah,
it's been cool.
you've been a part of some really cool experiences, like with Kanye and like award shows like that. How did those experiences impact your perspective about being an artist? Because you somewhat fell into it and just embraced it.
I feel like what I took from things like that, and like I can speak on that because I feel like I finally like can explain what I took from that. Like I didn't really realize it in that moment, but honestly, just not as of late, but over time, it really just I appreciated Kanye's mind, even though I was only around him for a little bit of time. And I feel like, especially in that moment, like I never hated the dude. I was never this, but I didn't understand him. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like a lot of times when we don't understand people, what's going on in this country right now, we don't understand somebody, you could have something against them. So now me, more as I'm becoming my own artist, and even beyond that, just thinking a little bit more intently and differently, like I can see why people call him crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure some people call me crazy one day. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like I can't. That's what it opened my mind up to, and just understanding like it beyond the actual sacrifice, the money sacrifice. Like it's not in a bad way, but you got to really sacrifice your mental to always be. If you want to be at the top of your game and doing that, you just have. Some people literally might think you're crazy. So it's just like that. That's what I took from that. It was like, yo, just don't be scared to look nuts, because he's not nuts. You know what I'm saying? Now that I'm seeing it, like I said, after I got to reflect on it, I'm like, okay, he's not nuts. He's not crazy. You know what I'm saying? He's out there, but he does out of this world stuff, just like anybody that's memorable, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like the process of a lot of different creatives. Creatives are notorious for being unorthodox and having a more extensive way of processing the world and information and everything that people use as a systematic template. Creatives are known for completely getting out of it. That's why you only have the 1% of celebrities or the 1% of musicians and singers who make it. You know what I mean? It's them. So, I mean, that's very valuable and like mature to be able to understand that someone may have a different process of thinking than you. And at maybe some point you'll come to understand whatever it may be, or be able to differentiate.
Well, the only reason I'm saying that now is because I am there. That's the only reason I'm saying that what I am now. That's like, I couldn't have gave you that answer if I didn't just think of that concept and said it. I don't think I would have even came up with the concept if I didn't know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's why I said I was going to talk about the Nipsey Hussle tribute I did. And I was like, I know what that meant, but to answer that question, I haven't had enough time. I did Kanye over like a year ago now. So it's like, it took me 8 months for that to really sink in, you know? So this Nipsey Hussle Grammy thing, I might find some other new correlation that I have to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Right. I had the privilege to be a part of a show scene with Nipsey Hussle, and I got to experience his energy that he held, and just kind of like what he stood for in the very mildest moments of just like being introduced to him. Sometimes when you meet people of a certain status, you get to actually kind of see a little bit of their character.
For sure.
Being someone who is in the know you're on American Soul, Fresh, you know, how do you maintain your composure and your human-esque ways?
I think the way I do it, I don't know, like I mean, this answer can go on for 10 minutes. As you can tell, I like to talk, and I do think a lot.
I have no problem with that.
And we haven't been doing nothing, so I've been having a lot of time to think. But I don't know how I stay humble is literally just understanding like what the scale is. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, like I don't perceive like success or how much comfort I should give myself off of my entertainment success. Like I really don't. Like I'm like understanding just my faith and all things like that. Like that's what that matters. Like I'm telling you, like we live in such a modern world. People don't think like crazy stuff happens. Like no, like I don't know. I just believe in what I believe in. So it's like if music is this big compared to what I'm actually trying to figure out, then that's cool. You know what I'm saying? So like that's how I stay humble. Cause I could be this. I could go talk to my pastor. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It's just I don't feel like anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not my scale. It's not about like what I do. It's like how much do I understand?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why I do that for like a while. I've been so wise this and that. Because I literally that's where I see the bar. Even in anything, it's social status. All this stuff on. It's no like the people who understand the most are the people who have the upper hand.
Yes.
That's it. So at the end of the day, and it's not even upper hand on how to scheme on people. It's how to keep yourself calm. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like that's what I'm searching for, and that's how I stay calm. Because I hope I don't ever have to stress about making it in music. That's the goal. I don't want to ever have to like make all my money and feel like the music is my life, because then it's not, my creativity is going to be based off numbers, and I gotta eat this week. So it's
right.
I'm not trying to do all that.
It's very interesting that you said that, because I recently spoke with Troy Taylor, and I was asking him about how does he define like the perfect artist to work with, and like he does a lot of artist development, and the key thing that you said is something that he said that makes someone a successful artist is their ability to identify with self first, because unless you do, then you cannot handle what the goal comes with. You know what I mean? The goal comes with challenges of people questioning your characteristics, questioning your capabilities, and all.
Everything. So I'm just trying to plug my phone.
Oh yeah, do your thing.
All right, are we still on track?
Oh yeah, you're all good.
It's charging.
Yeah.
All right, we're good.
Boom. Yeah, so it's great that you have that sense of grounding and everything like that. And I feel like a lot of people mistaken humbling yourself with not praising your own successes. So like even with being humble, it's really good to be like, I did that shit. I did great.
Well, yeah, it's like, I honestly feel like people have it backwards. Like when you're humble, you literally have more confidence than people that are cocky. Mm-hmm. Like they're cocky because they don't have enough confidence to let you look at them and not know everything that I've done. So I gotta let you know. I got what I'm wearing, what I'm talking about. I gotta let you know that I'm somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
The fact that you have no clue by looking at me what I might be able to do, like that I'm way more confident about that. At any moment, you don't know what I can do. You can be sitting there drinking a coffee. You can be talking about this show. I do this, and I show you a music video. You're like, oh, am I really sitting there?
That's you?
Exactly. So like that's how I feel. It's like I don't get it off of. I don't need it on a daily basis. So that one time that somebody just is surprised, that's enough.
Yeah, I'm happy to know that. Back to your music, you have an album coming out soon, correct?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm working on it right now. There's no dates. I know my fans be listening.
Okay, because I was about to say, so what's the
No. We're not starting all them rumors. But nah, okay. I'm definitely gonna come out with something. I'm just trying, I've been just where I've been at is just trying to really make sure what I was gonna put out is what I want to put out, and honestly just change some things. I think I have the time to do it. Mm-hmm. My fans are really cool, and they stick with me, and they know what's going on, because like I said, I keep it genuine. So if they feel like they're going through something, I'm probably feeling the same way. So it's like I think they understand me in that way, and I'm glad I put out my last project. I'm glad I've dropped like three singles this year, 3 or just 2. Just 2. Oh wow. Well, the third one, well, everything's got pushed back just because all of this. But I'm finishing up mixing my next single now, so that'll probably be better in a month or so, somewhere a month and some change maybe. Okay. But yeah, definitely a project after that. I don't really want to drop too many singles. I want to encompass everything I'm figuring out and just put it in the next project, as every artist should be doing.
Mm-hmm. Can we have like a sneak peek of like what the content may be, what the sound may be?
Oh, well, don't hold me to it because it could change at any time. Right? For real. But I don't know. It's definitely gonna be a little more sonically with just the tracks, the instrumentation, not not what I'm talking about. But instrumentation wise, it's going to be a little more straightforward than my last project. Okay. So my last project, I took a lot of liberty in some of the pockets that I used and the sounds and the different types, just rhythms that I caught, which was really cool. And I think it worked for that time. But just where I'm at now is like, I was early off in my creation stage, so like I was almost trying to not prove anything to myself, but I was using all the tools that I had, and that was the best thing that I could do. I now know what that is, so I'm like, okay, I don't have to add so much stuff. I know what's necessary now. So a little more straightforward on the production side of things, and lyrically, I mean, it's always going to be something semi just sensitive, as I always do. And I don't know, yeah, but I'm also not trying to get stuck. I'm trying not to allow the time that I'm making the music in, like, be the music, almost, in a sense. I know a lot of people are like, oh, like the best music is about the times, but the way that I'm seeing it is like the times that we're in are meant to spring us forward. I think I'd be doing myself a disservice and my listeners a disservice to let this project come out in 6 months and they got to relive this moment. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, and that's why I'm kind of just rethinking where it's going and this and that, just so I can have that in mind. But I kind of give a little idea, but it's still in the blueprint sketches right now.
Yeah. No titles yet or anything.
No? I gotta figure out what I want to talk about. I gotta figure it out. Like I read a lot of stuff. It's just figuring out what I want to say.
What is your musical process?
Depends. It definitely just getting the. It's so cliche, but just getting the vibe right. Sometimes songs will start strictly off of lyrics, but for me, it really, even if it doesn't have to be a full produced track, but the whatever it's playing, whatever, just gotta feel right. So like that honestly takes more time than the writing to me. It's like, and sometimes if I'm not thinking about it, but say I can make one or two tracks a day for 2 days, but I didn't finish any of them. That's still that process of trying to get the vibe right. You know what I'm saying? So like, not every track I make, I think, should have a song on top of it, because at the end of the day, that was just me. I was just getting that out, and that I'll know. Yeah, that's why they say you gotta make 10 songs for every one that you use. It's kind of the same thing.
Yes.
In that way, when it comes to my process.
Okay. When you make a catalog and you're narrowing it down, how does that process go for you? Is it based off of people's reactions to the tracks? Is it based off of your feelings towards your tracks? How does that go for you?
For me, like the EP that I dropped, Familiar Strangers, it was more on the cohesiveness of the lyrical content.
Okay.
That's how it is. Like I definitely want to get to a point where almost everything runs into each other track wise, and we figure out how to do that. Would be really cool for me to have. Just from top to bottom, just something that consistently goes through would be really cool. But it's definitely more about the lyrics for sure, because I feel like it's just drop singles. You shouldn't drop a project if it's not in somewhat of the same thing. And like, people probably don't think about it, and I didn't even think about it, but even like, I had 6 songs on my EP. I started off with Sweet Tea, which is the first line that was like, I was in a new place, never met this chick, have no clue, whatever. And the next song was Lovey Dovey, was, okay, I'm just like, okay, I'm really feeling her, she's cool. So I was just building this gradual, the smallest scale up. Then Rough Rider was like, okay, like, we really gonna make this move, like, I'm riding for you hard, blah 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 blah. Right. Then we hit Nervous. It was like, okay, we cool. Now we getting, kind of sexual. Then after Nervous, then something bad happened. Then I had to sing Cupid. You know what I'm saying? I felt all bad, blah, 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 blah. Right. And then on the side is after we make up, we just lit. So even though that is not the story, storyline, like, even with small songs, and even what I was like, okay, like, just for me, like, I had to put it in that order. It would just feel weird to start with that and that. And hopefully people don't even realize that. Hopefully people maybe realize now that they didn't even pick up on that, but that was my goal. Just try to give them something, flow.
A timeline, essentially.
Exactly.
That's a really cool thing. I'm always fascinated when I listen to a catalog of music of how people curate what songs goes together. And I have noticed, in yours that it had a certain story to it, which is why I asked the question.
Ah, nice.
So you did a great job with that. That's something that I see to be a thing amongst people like Adele. Amy Winehouse is really good with storytelling, and it's almost like I feel like a lot of people when they put out albums, they're doing their storytelling with the titles rather than the actual songs themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
And
I appreciate the song.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I think it was really dope. I want to wrap this off with something that I like to do with a lot of people I speak with, a moment of manifestation and advice.
Okay.
If you could place yourself in the world doing anything, having any accomplishment that it may be, what would that be?
Literally to fulfill, not even, I know I can fulfill my purpose, but I think it's to understand my purpose fully. And I think right there is the key. Like, I don't think I'll fully understand my purpose because it's like I have to not figure out what my purpose is, but like, it's hard to comprehend. It's like, I'll know I'll never fulfill it because it's always something more.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So for me to know that and literally, like, I can't even explain it to you. It's just a certain mental state that I know that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I can literally get to like literally just like I don't even know how to describe it. You know what I'm saying? But like
right.
Whatever that is, like, that's my goal. I know it's an open answer. Like I've said things before, like perform at the Super Bowl and do things like that, and I fully still want those goals. But that is not the end goal. If I don't know. I just feel like with a certain mindset, with a certain understanding, like those things can happen. Not saying that they will. I don't make them happen. That's weird. But like, yeah, I think it would just be a part of my story. You know what I'm saying? So if I could just walk through every moment, like not trying to control it. There you go.
There we go.
Walk through every moment, not trying to control it, because that if I'm not trying to control it, that means I already know what I'm stepping into. Like, I already know it's taken care of. You know what I'm saying? I need to come in here and, hey, can you play this? Like, no, somehow this person already knew what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? So the track is done, or this is that, or, you know, just little things like that. I don't even know.
Free spirited for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so the last thing that I would like you to do, there are a lot of people who are on our platform who are extremely talented and they're seeking just that opportunity to have their voices heard, or even what I'm noticing about our demographic, it is literally really talented people who just are in love with the music, and there's like an overseeing of people due to like social status, etc. If you could shed advice to anyone who is wishing to be that person or the greatest musician or whomever, what would you share?
I would say to not think that online attention or numbers is the way that you can feel like you're doing something well. Like for me, I got into music after I was already in LA. So it's just great that how I got into it is also the place where it blows up the most. But even in the same sense, you live in the middle of Ohio. Okay, how you gonna get big on Instagram? You don't know nobody in marketing. You don't know nobody here. You don't have $4,000 to put behind an ad for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, what do you do? Okay, you don't worry about what's online. You go like word of mouth and like direct to consumer is way better nowadays. Like you have to just get out there. I know people that have followers on Instagram that his name's Mac Royals. I respect him like crazy. Like one of the best vocalists that I've ever heard. I met him one time, but he didn't start singing on Hollywood Boulevard. But he still sings on Hollywood Boulevard with a mic and takes tips. But he got YouTube numbers, got streams, and got this. But for some reason, it makes sense. But that makes him feel better than anything else that he's done. So it's like I feel like people don't even know what will make them feel good. They just see what makes other people feel good, and they don't even feel good. They just see it. One of those things that we're saying, just look at me. They're not confident in what they do. So if you're confident in the connection you're making with the people in your city, if you get 500 people in your city, like at the end of the day, you won't want the rest of the country. You are Michael Jackson of your small town, and you get free gas. Like if you don't make your area so big, you can really probably do some serious stuff. Like even in a lower class area or this and that. Like at the end of the day, when you're in a smaller area, you need a smaller budget. So it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Like, people aren't expecting a $1 million stage.
Yeah.
Get a mic, get your boys, do a dance, boom. You cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's something we did that I've done. You know, crappy performances. 10 people in the room, 5 people in the room. I've done that. I've also performed in 40,000. So it's like don't get discouraged at the end of the day. Because some of those smaller performances were way more fun than any of the other ones ever. Because the only way that you're gonna have fun is if you guys actually all put it in. Because nobody can get lazy because there's 30,000 other people doing it for you. Like there's only 10 people in that room. You as a listener and you as the performer, like damn, like if I let down right now, like everybody gonna feel it. So I gotta be in there. So it's cool is what I'm saying, to not always be the biggest for real. That's what I'm learning too. I'm not tripping about trying to be that big. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really not. And I think by me having that, I will get literally whatever level of whatever I need.
Right, because you're not like trying to like grab it so aggressively.
Well, it's just validation. I don't think numbers and this validates my talent. But that's why I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket, so I don't feel like I have to make crazy money off of it, you know?
Yeah.
Even though I'm going to, and it's going to be nice, and I'm going to have a nice Best believe I'm going to be chilling. Like, I'm definitely humble, for sure, but I have plans. I have plans, but
I feel you. I dig that a lot. I feel like I share the same headspace as you after having this conversation. So it was a pleasure speaking with you. I'm excited for this Blueprint album that I'm gonna be on your.
Is it called Blueprint? Am I copying JC?
I am excited for this to come into fruition.
Thank you.
So stay safe. I hope y'all weather is better in LA than it is.
Yeah, it's gloomy. It's gloomy today, but I'm gonna have a good rest of the day. You gotta make some music. Literally, we chilling. So.
Yeah. Okay. Keep it that way. I'm excited.
For sure.
And thank you so much for talking with us at Ziphaus.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ziphaus.
Yes.